What's up everyone, my name is Colin, aka Editor Colin Online. If you don't know me, I was ranked the #1 video editor on YT Jobs in 2025. I've done 500 million long form views for my clients. I make over $12,000 a month every single month, and I've retired my mom with video editing all at age 21. So that's a little bit about me and why you might want to listen. In this video, I'm just going over some questions asked by my students in my private school community 6-figure editor, which is linked in the description, where all members have daily access to me every single day, a 6-module course on how to position yourself, how to raise your prices, how to get clients to agree with prices, how to do outreach properly, my exact outreach formula and strategy, how to position yourself as premium, and how to grow your personal brand to over 7,000 followers across multiple platforms, as I have myself. All of this for only $50, so if you get one client, you make a 20 to 50x return off your investment. So links in the description if you're even somewhat serious about taking editing seriously and becoming the next 6-figure editor, traveling the world, working remotely, taking care of your friends and family, doing everything you could ever want with editing. Links in the description if you're interested. But yeah, let's get on to the questions from my students. All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another Q&A video. So like I said, you all had 24 hours to submit questions, and here we are. There's a decent amount of responses and some long questions, so we're going to be going through them in this video. And yeah, I hope you find this helpful, and don't worry if you weren't able to submit on time. I'm going to do one of these every week just to help you guys out as much as possible. So yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to start out with Cloudy, I believe that's how you say your name. This is a long message, but I'm just going to read it all so everyone can also learn from it. So yeah, let's get started. Hey Colin, I'm struggling to break into the gaming creator space. Most of my portfolio's strongest results come from the Reacts niche. I've generated 160 million views across clients. Great work, man. But the gaming side of my portfolio consists of mostly work with smaller creators under 1k subs, so I don't have the same level of social proof here. Because of that, gaming creators often hesitate to work with me, even though I have gaming edits in my portfolio and genuinely know how to edit gaming content. They tend to judge my ability based on the views and size of the creators I've worked with. This creates a bit of a catch. I need to work with established gaming creators to build the hyper-specific gaming credibility and results they're looking for, but I need that credibility and those results to convince them to hire me in the first place. How would you approach breaking out of this cycle and convincing gaming creators to take a chance on me when my strongest results are currently outside the gaming niche? Also, does this mean I should outreach more to React clients, as I would have potentially had more success in that area compared to other niches? All right, so that's basically two questions in one question, and I'm going to answer both parts. So the first part is, what would I do to break this cycle? This is actually pretty simple. I talk about this a lot, but basically all you literally need to do is do more outreach, because even if 99% of gaming creators reject you because you don't have enough experience with larger gaming creators, that leaves 1% of the people who will accept you. And then let's say that 1% of people who are a large gaming creator who takes a chance on you and it goes well, boom, there you have that established gaming creator. And then maybe now, instead of 99% of people rejecting you, let's say maybe that'll go down to 80% reject you because it's only one gaming creator. And then you reach out to more people, but then that's more people who are going to take a chance on you, and that's exactly how you grow. So honestly, man, you just need to do more outreach for longer. And that's honestly the answer to most people's questions at the end of the day. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. Second question here is, also, should I outreach to more React clients? Now, this is kind of depending on your personal goals. If you want to stay in the React niche and your only goal is to make money, then yeah, of course, go for it. But if you personally do not enjoy doing React content or want to become a full gaming editor, then I would say no. But also, in the meantime, like, it wouldn't hurt to make sure that you have a nice, consistent, sustainable income while you try to transition over to gaming. So yeah, hopefully that helps you. Super fixable problem, man. You just need more reps, because eventually, no matter what, someone will say yes if you do enough outreach and show up every day. All right, here from Fico, he says, what are some of the best shortcuts that help you save the most time while editing that I use? Okay, so I have a shortcut for the cut button. I have a shortcut for ripple delete. When I go through footage, I press L on the keyboard to go at 2 or 4x speed. Practicing going on 4x speed saved a lot for me, because now, more often than not, as long as the specific creator doesn't talk super fast, I'm able to understand what people are saying in 4x speed fully, which allows me to cut on 4x speed, which obviously then turns 1 hour of footage into 15 minutes of footage. So I'm sure you can see for yourself how that speeds things up. And then from there, it's not really shortcuts, but I have the same folder for music sound effects that I use across all my projects. So as soon as a moment comes up, I know the exact file name and know what to look for, instead of just browsing a folder for a long time, because I know that slows down a lot of editors. But for me, as soon as it's like, oh, there's a funny scene, so I know the exact type of funny song for my folder that would work, because I've used the same folder 1,000 times. Another question from Cloudy. I've been trying to understand retention at a much deeper level, especially how you think about keeping someone engaged throughout an entire video, not just the first 30 to 60 seconds. If you had to give an editor a complete framework or mental model for maintaining retention from the hook all the way to the ending, how would you approach it? I'd especially love to understand how you go about things like pacing, / when to change things up, creating opening loops, pattern interrupts, information rewarding timing, and preventing viewer fatigue. Knowing when a section needs to be cut or reworked. Now, I'd say a lot of this also comes with reps, because eventually you're going to start realizing that certain choices just feel right or feel wrong. Like if you watch something and you're like, huh, like something rubs you the wrong way about it, that means that something needs to be fixed. And when you realize that, you need to watch it for like what specifically, because sometimes, you won't know, but you're like, something doesn't feel right about this. And then you'll watch it 3 more times and you'll realize it's cut way too slow or way too fast. So a lot of it really just comes from also watching content. Like watch some of the best performing videos on YouTube and just in your niche and figure out what makes them work, because different niches have different like retention styles. So there's not just one Mr. Beast formula that's going to get you good retention. It's more about the audience. It's about finding out what the viewers of said channel like to watch, how they like things. Because obviously, I edit a lot of kids videos, which means if I make those videos super fast pacing, constant shit going on all the time, that doesn't mean that that's good pacing. It means it's good pacing for that audience. So it's about knowing your audience and knowing what feels right. And all this kind of also falls under that. It's more of like a gut feeling type of thing and learning from other content rather than just like a step-by-step, formula. So, yeah, hopefully that helps. All right, Nick Johns, you said, I've never worked on a monthly retainer before. Can you explain how it works, how I structure mine, and what's the best investment you've made in my business? All right, great questions all around. And of course I could explain it. So a monthly retainer is simple. It's a flat amount that a client pays you every month, expecting you to do the same amount of work. So let's say you have a client who gives you 1 video a week, just to keep this example simple. And let's say you're charging $4,000 a month to said client. That means every month on, let's say, the first of the month or whatever day you choose to get paid on, you will receive that $4,000. No being paid after each video, just on the first of the month, whatever day of the month. And from there, the client also knows that on every Friday, they can expect their videos, no problem, no missing videos, things like that. So it's literally just saying, hey, let's simplify this. And instead of you paying for every individual video, it'll be easier on your end and easier on my end, because I the reoccurring income that you don't have to stress about. And then the client doesn't have to worry about paying you constantly. So that's how I also like to pitch it. Just tell them that it'll make things simpler, easier on both of your ends. And, as long as you turn that monthly retainer into like the similar rate that you're doing before, they're never gonna have a problem with it. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And what's the best investment I made in my business? That's a great question. Now, I'm going to say like there's 2 types of investments. There's financial investments and there's time investments. Financial investments, I actually learned a lot of like business and marketing things from people like Alex Hormozy, William Brown. And I'd say, even though it's not like directly an editing person, there's a lot that you could learn from successful people in many other fields that you can like figure out, okay, how does this translate over to my work? So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And time wise, I think it's just putting time into improving my skills and growing my brand, and also time into outreach. Because the thing about putting time into outreach is, even though sometimes it looks like you're not getting anywhere, you never know when someone that you messaged 2 months ago is going to message you back and then close on a $3,000 a month deal. You just never know. So the more shots you put out there, the higher chance that is. And the final question from Huyaman Edits is it worth it to get a portfolio website, or should I just use YT Jobs? It genuinely does not matter. Like, it doesn't matter at all. It's about the content that's in your portfolio, not about where it's hosted. I want to break this limiting belief for you, because a lot of editors do this. It's the same thing with like, oh, should my profile picture be animated or should it be a photo of me? Like, it doesn't matter. You just need to have a brand identity and you need to have good work. So literally, if your portfolio was a flash drive, but it had amazing work in it, like people are not going to care. It's about the type of content. So literally whatever you prefer. I like YT Jobs because it has like built-in data. So like every time you add a video, it'll update the real-time views on your portfolio. So to me, I personally prefer that. Some people like having their own site. It literally doesn't matter. Remember guys, link to Six Figure Editor is in the description. If you're even somewhat serious about editing, we have daily access to me, a 6-module course, everything you could ever need on how to scale to 6 figures as a video editor, as I have myself. Take care of yourself, your loved ones, live your dream lifestyle. So links in the description, only $50. Worst case back, you make a 50x on your investment if you get 1 client. So links in the description, and I can't wait to make you the next 6-figure editor. See you inside the school.